Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. We are playing as France. It is the end of March 1937 and Germany has thus far only reoccupied the Rhineland. I'm sure that they are focused now on annexing Austria, and at that point we do have some interesting things that may happen. If Italy feels particularly threatened by Germany, which may or may not end up happening, we haven't. Yeah, their highest threat level isn't Germany at this point, so it's probably not going to happen. But if Germany tries to annex Austria through the Anschluss decision, Italy may refuse to let them do it, and then there'd be a little war between Italy and Germany. It may not happen, probably won't happen. It's a little bit ahistorical. Really, probably is just plain not going to happen in general. Aside from that, the war between Japan and nationalist China hasn't started yet, although they haven't. The Chinese have stopped their civil war, so that's an interesting little tidbit. The nationalists may be in a better position to confront the Japanese. Otherwise, the majority of the Chinese army would be stationed over here on their front with the communists. At this point, they probably stationed a significant amount of their army over here, and maybe even they're garrisoning their borders. All depends on where they perceive the most threat coming from. In fact, they think that the British right now are a higher threat than the Japanese, which I guess is interesting. Our officer ratio is plummeting, but our national unity is increasing. Once again, one of our primary goals is to be able to change from a full civilian economy to, at the very least, basic mobilization, get us some more industrial capacity and more resources. See, we are losing rare materials and metal rather quickly, so we need to focus on that. We are still going to need to focus on our government, on our party. We want to make sure that we keep control of our government. Although let's swap it around a little bit. We'll stop supporting our ruling party quite as much and just focus on the national unity. At this point, we are just basically going to let the game play for a while. We're finishing up our support brigades, and we're starting to build our medium armored divisions. And once these are done, we're going to start on another couple of infantry corps. I don't think we have the we can build more mountain infantry, which might actually be a really good idea considering how mountainous the southern terrain is down here in Italy. And if we are planning on doing any real operations in Italy, we're going to need more mountain. But at the same time, we really can't afford to be focusing on that to the detriment of having enough troops up here in the first and second armies to actually hold this line. If the Germans push us back from this line, up here, we can always pull back behind these rivers and these forests. That's a nice, very, very well defensible line. Basically turn it into World War II borders, and from then we can progressively fall back behind these rivers. And the only difficulty there is that at this point, Paris would be our best territory to basically defend much of anything from, and that's a dangerous position for us to be in. So we're just gonna keep on playing for the time being. We are going to want to expand our air force to at least have some interceptor capability, but that's not exactly high on our priority list in the immediate sense. Right now we have our spies in Yugoslavia. They're counter-espionaging right now, so we really don't want to be supporting our party too much. I suppose we could kill their spies, or attempt to anyway. And we have our spies in Germany not doing much of anything but gathering information. I think we do sort of want to engage in spy warfare over here with Germany. If we can kill their spies, maybe our United Kingdom buddies will start increasing their threat. I'm not sure what their priority level is. Well, it looks like we're doing okay over here. Maybe not spectacular, but more artillery is always good. We don't want to attach support regiments to our special forces and our mountain divisions. It's just going to negate any positives that they would get from being a mountain brigade. Mountain warfare equipment is always nice. That just means that our regular infantry take less attrition when they're in the mountains, and our mountain brigades actually are better at attacking and defending into and from mountains. It's an all-around good thing to have. And we're still doing okay on research, so we'll just let that one, that project fall off there. The Republicans are holding their ground. Well, okay, never mind. They just lost Valencia, so now their country is completely cut in half. Yeah, there's really no way that they're going to win at this point. They've lost too much ground. Their army down here is now entirely dependent on what their army up here can ship out to them. They have broken down this pocket down here, so maybe they have a few more troops. Oh, the humanity, the Hindenburg. Maybe they have a few more troops that they can push north with, but I think that they're fresh out of luck, to be entirely honest. It doesn't help that we are not yet organized enough to help them. We don't have popularity or organization of at least 50, so politically speaking, we can't help them. Now, our popularity is now at 38%, which is fantastic, and our organization's at just about 35%, which I suppose is okay. And this is just another example of how weak we are. We can barely be building all three of these things at the same time. Like, it's going to be really expensive for us to even build an interceptor. Look at that IC cost. That it is better on manpower for us to have a strong air force, but we won't lose because of our air force existing or not existing. We'll lose because of our infantry existing or not existing. So we'll queue up another full corps of artillery-supported infantry to start the second army off with. And I think that we'll do one more artillery-supported infantry, and then we'll do another 2 anti-tank supported infantry just to clear everything out. We are losing a significant amount of money. One way to sort of help this is by increasing the amount of supplies you make, because you can sell supplies to other countries. And right now we're trading for supplies because I had my industrial capacity in other areas. Yeah, we're actually losing a significant amount of money every month. I'm going to go in and manually cancel all these trade for, like right here, we're importing supplies from Germany and giving them a whole bunch of our money. Let's not trade for supplies. We can build supplies in our own country. And let's see if we can encourage our trade AI to sell supplies instead. Look at that. Our supply requirements are ridiculous. No, don't do that. Our ability to produce things has just gone drastically down, unfortunately. But that did result in us actually turning a profit now, so I guess that's a good thing. It does mean we haven't started on our newly queued up infantry divisions, though, which is a little bit unfortunate. It looks like we killed some German spies, but they ended up killing more of our spies, so we need to let our spies over here regen. Over time, it's basically going to take us a couple of months to regen all of those spies that we lost in Germany. Well, that's okay. They weren't doing anything, just chilling there, not doing anything either. You know, it's small arms advance is a good thing. Let's see. Desert warfare, yes. Desert warfare is necessary because of our land down here. There isn't too much desert, but the desert is our border, so that will be a necessary thing. Maybe we'll have enough men to assign down there. I hope we do, but it's not going to be the end of the world if we don't. And we can do this infantry morale tech as well. That's a good idea. Infantry support weapons. Good. Let's move over to our tanks. All these are now 38 techs, but I think we are going to focus on our support brigades before we support on our tank brigades. Oh, it looks like the Republicans actually managed to relink up the two disparate halves, but they just lost their extreme south. And now they've been cut off again. And they reopened a thin line here. And now it's closed again. And now it's open again. Oh, Japan has officially been accepted into the Axis. Germany has the decision to either go after nationalist China or after Japan. Usually they wait until the war has started, and the war has in fact started. Usually they like to wait until they can figure out which one is going to win. Beijing just got taken over by the Japanese, but historically speaking, Germany supported the Chinese significantly, even so far as to send officers, material, and weapons over to help train the nationalists' army. They wanted an ally over here, and during World War I, Japan actually declared war on Germany and fought on the side of the United Kingdom. So Germany didn't think that they'd be able to get an ally in Japan, so they focused on the Chinese instead, helped them unify their country. But after tensions got too high between these two and war broke out, the Germans had to pick between the Chinese under, what's his name, Wei Jingwei, I think? It doesn't actually say on this screen. Yeah, I don't think we can actually see. I think it's Wei Jingwei. Can't remember. Regardless, the Germans had to choose between either befriending the Chinese or befriending the Japanese. Obviously, we know which one they chose in real life, and it looks like they chose the Japanese here in this reality. Somehow the Republicans are holding on. I don't necessarily know how that's happening. They took Valencia back, which is good. Industrial efficiency is always spectacular. Once again, we're not going to invest in rockets or in nuclear research. At this point, radar... Let's do the research efficiency, actually. I think that's going to be a little bit more important than radar for us. And industrial production is also a very good thing. Let's invest in agriculture now. Get more manpower. Every little bit of manpower is going to help us dramatically. Alright. And this is starting the second Armored Corps. We'll assign leaders as the war gets closer. In vanilla game, we get leaders at the end of every year, and it's usually a bad thing to reassign and promote and demote leaders. Like here we have 2 skill General Coulson, who is in charge of the Maginot Line Army. If we were at war and were to demote him, he would lose one of his experience points. So he would go down to a skill 1. Brigadier General? Major General, yeah. And if we were to promote this guy, he would actually retain that skill. So it's generally better to have your order of battle worked out before you're actually at war. We do still have some time. It's only October of 37. Getting our infantry tech. Marine infantry would be nice, but we really can't siphon off our research to really let that work to our advantage. So let's start in on some of the tank upgrades. How are our spies doing? Back up to 9 in Germany. Their counter-espionage is only 5, so let's bump that counter-espionage back up. We are almost at 60% national unity, which is fantastic. We are up to 42% popularity, our organization is just about 40, which is also very good. I think the second we get... Yeah, our neutrality is now below 70. All we need is a few more days to get our unity above 60, and then we'll be able to enact basic mobilization, which will give us what's effectively a 25% bonus to our industrial capacity. Really, it's just reducing our malice right now from negative 50 to negative 25, but either way, it significantly helps. Looks like Japan is doing fairly well. They already took over Shaanxi in the north, which just leaves Communist China on their northern front line. I wonder if the Communists... No, they didn't. The Communists decided to not join the Nationalists in their war with Japan. Oh boy, that's a lot of highly... the Communists have a small army, but it's all very highly skilled. And it's actually a very large army for how small the country is. That'll be interesting. I wonder if the Communists will just absolutely flat-out refuse to join. It looks like it. And it looks like Japan, once again, is just completely steamrolling China. It's one unfortunate result of this being a game that doesn't completely accurately reflect, history. Historically, the Japanese just could not supply their troops, did not have the manpower to completely take over China, which is one of the largest and most populous countries. Dunkirk, awesome. So we are assigning that to the Mediterranean Task Force to help protect the Baron, and I'm actually going to make this the pride of the fleet now. It's going to increase its experience. It's already 35% experience now. Ruling party support plus 2%. Awesome. It means that it will fight better, basically, but that it will incur a national unity loss if we were to actually lose it in combat. Speaking of national unity, it's almost at 60%. Come on, get there. One more day. Wonderful. All right, more efficient laws, basic mobilization. Boom, boom. Now that does mean that we get 10% less money, and we need a little bit more in consumer goods, but we now have 25% more resources and 25% more industrial capacity. Both of which are fantastic. Look, we just went from 71 up to 95. It's fantastic. So let's reorganize our production sliders in here. Let's actually start, we'll do half of an IC. Let's do 0.6 to reinforcement. Move this up to 15. We drop down from 60 required upgrades to 46. And we can actually build everything in our queue now, especially that the Dunkirk is out. So let's stick with this this group of infantry. We're building one medium tank division. Let's build another light tank division. No, let's stick with the medium tank. I think that's fine. We do have the ability to build tank destroyers, though, too. How much would that slow it down? Not at all. Let's sacrifice an engineer for a tank destroyer. And we'll build 3 of these. One after the other. So we'll only build one of them at a time, but we'll build them immediately one after each other. I think that'll be okay. And the Spanish Civil War is over. The Nationalists have won. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get our country organized enough to be able to help out down there. But that's okay. And it looks like we've won, technically, in Germany. Well, nope, never mind. Okay. Yeah, we need to cut back on the spying in Germany. Well, we're not going to cut back on sending our spies to Germany, but they're doing remarkably well at preventing us from gaining spy supremacy over their country, which is fine. It's a little bit unfortunate, but hey, we went from 35% national unity up to 60%, which is fantastic. We are in a good spot. Unfortunately, it's the beginning of 1938, and we only have just about a year and a half left before the beginning of the war, and we haven't even started in earnest on our second army. We only have one division of our of our second army built, so we will need to focus on churning out more infantry. In terms of mobilization, just about 200 manpower out of our 600, so we're really underutilizing our manpower pool at this point, which is okay. I mean, it means that we'll be able to replenish our army. Oh, okay. Seize the Chinese coast. All right, so the war is already over between Japan and China. Japan decided to not go for the throat and just completely kill the Chinese, and the Chinese decided to just cede a whole bunch of land. So basically, the entire northern half of the country is now Japan. They created a puppet state up here, Menguko, and the communists are just chilling over there, not doing anything. Japan also got this island down here, and now has a direct border with the United Kingdom and Portugal and us. Yeah, we own this little port province over here, which is entirely useless to us, except maybe as a base in the future. Now, they don't yet have Indochina from us. They do have an option to demand it once we're at war with Germany, and we may not be able to really prevent them from just taking it, but we'll see. Alright, so we've started the second army, and we'll attach this armored corps to the second army. Hopefully we can, I mean, at the very least we'll be able to put up a good fight when the Germans actually attack us. I am feeling much more comfortable now that we have significantly more of our IC available to us. I would like to get past basic mobilization and up to full mobilization, but that would require our neutrality to be below 60, which actually it almost is. So really Germany just needs to take a couple more nasty actions. Who's our highest threat right now anyway? Us. The Japanese, actually. Oh, I mean, yeah, they were the ones who were declaring war, so that will reduce our neutrality a little bit. Okay, Yugoslavia, how close are you? Is this you? That's the Netherlands. How well is our influence? Here you are, Yugoslavia. Okay, well, they're far enough away from the Axis to really be no real threat to us. How about we stop influencing Yugoslavs? We'll let our diplomacy pool tick up for a little bit, and we start influencing maybe Sweden. Sweden's being influenced by the Soviets. Interesting. Where are they on this map? I want to see where they... Here they are. Let's use our influence points on them. Where are they going now? Okay, they're heading towards us. Slowly, but they're heading towards us. Better artillery. Just means more upgrades we're going to need to do at some point. I think we need to sort of ignore light tanks from here on out. Oh, and we still have those upgrades for... We still have cavalry running around as well. Okay, so... We finished another of our medium armored brigades, the one with the engineer. And there's the Anschluss. Things start to heat up real quick. Germany has just completely annexed Austria. Italy is not yet a part of the Axis powers, but Japan is. Early acquisition over there. I mean, that was a quick war, too. Usually it takes a bunch longer. Okay, more efficient laws. We can do full mobilization now because Germany's threat just shot through the roof. This does mean that we will need more devoted to consumer goods. But it also means that we get more... now we have 120 available industrial capacity. We will be using more of our resources, but we also just lost one of our penalties to resource production, so it's a good thing. And we have a little bit of spare production down here. Let's drop the upgrades down to about 18, and we need to find one of our old cavalry. We need to get these guys upgraded to motorized as soon as possible. We don't want to be running around with cavalry I mean, cavalry is okay. It definitely has its uses. It's a fast unit that doesn't require oil. But motorized are basically just better in almost every single way. The only thing cavalry is better than basically any other unit at is revolt risk reduction. They're very good at reducing revolt risk in your conquered provinces. They're considered, generally speaking, they're really good at preventing people from taking up arms and rising up in revolution against you. Okay, so we have 4 cavalry. Let's bump these up. We need these upgraded before we actually finish building our infantry. Like, our infantry can wait, but we really need to get those units at full strength as soon as possible. What's this? Agriculture advance. Wonderful. Let's go, then. It's 38. Let's do radar. It's important. And anti-tank ammo. Okay, so we brought our support brigades up to modern times. Let's keep going with the medium tanks. We might as well get these up to 1938 techs. And that should do it. Do we have anything immediately going to be ready? Okay, so April. April's the next infantry. Alright, well, I'm going to call this episode here. We have seen Germany take over Austria. They did it peacefully, which means that they didn't draw Italy into a war with them, which does happen sometimes. Italy does not see Germany as a very high threat, which is good for Italy, but not good for us. And we still consider Japan to be the highest threat. But Germany's close behind. They have 16 compared to Japan's 21. But Japan just did complete a lightning war over here in China. I wonder if this means that the communists will declare war on nationalist China again. See if they can beat the Chinese and then consolidate. Now, this does mean that we can go after the nationalist Chinese now. We can start influencing them. And attempt to get them to our faction. Maybe we'll have another ally over here. Leaving China alive is dangerous for Japan, for future conquests. Like, if they end up at war with the Soviet Union, all their army will be in the north, and then the Chinese can attack over their lost territory in the south. And of course, the United States just chilling over there, doing absolutely nothing, not getting involved. But of course, we aren't really getting involved in politics around here either. We're just kind of sitting here, preparing for the worst. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe if you so feel the desire to. If not, don't worry about it. I'm always welcoming to constructive criticism. Go ahead and leave it in the comments, or go ahead and send me a private message. Either way, I hope you'll join me for the next video. Thanks much, and I'll see you all next time.